Well, hello and good morning. This is Dr. Yonette coming to you again with another episode of our Baby Talk. And today we are going to be talking about babies who are getting to be 1 year old. We are talking about 9 month old babies and what their developmental milestones are. What should you expect from your baby at this point? And I know this is such a time of fun for moms and dads because now you're witnessing your baby's growth in remarkable ways. So let's talk about that. Today is Friday. It's probably a work down day for you. You're relaxing and looking forward to the weekend. Let's talk about what your little man or your little girl is doing in their stages of development. And we're talking about most babies. Remember, this is the average. So your baby may achieve these milestones before the expected time or a little after the expected time. But if you find your baby is way behind, the admonition, the recommendation is always to consult with your pediatrician. So let's look at the various areas of development in your 9 months old. From a social emotional perspective, you are going to notice that your baby is going to become a little shy. He's becoming aware of himself. So he's a little shy, a little clingy, and fearful of strangers. And this information is being brought to you based on information from the CDC. Also, from a social emotional perspective, you'll notice that your baby shows several facial expressions. He shows when he's happy, you can tell when he's sad or angry or even surprised. So your baby is really growing socially. When you call his or her name, your baby looks at you. And this is one of the telltale signs of children with autism. They do not respond to their names. Maybe not as early as 9 months old, but somewhere along the line, you're going to find when you call your child's name, he or she does not respond. And that might be a cue that you need to look closer at your child if he or she is not developing appropriately. Okay, now, social emotionally, your child would react when you leave. He's going to look for you or he's going to cry. And then you also would expect your child to smile or laugh when you play peekaboo. Now, what is your child doing from a language communication perspective? Your child now at 9 months old is making lots of songs. He's saying mama, 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 and he's saying ba, 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 ba. He's also able to lift his arms up to be picked up. So when you go to the baby, you'll see he's going to stretch out his arms, ready to be picked up by you. Isn't that adorable? Now let's look at what he does cognitively in terms of learning and thinking and problem solving. Now, cognitively, he is able or she is able to look for objects when they drop out of sight. Like, for example, his spoon falls down on the floor, he's going to look for it. He knows that there's some form of object permanency happening here. And he or she is able to bang two things together. So he's banging two objects together. All right, let's look at movement. How is your baby moving at 9 months old? Your baby should be able to get to a standing position by him or herself. Okay, so look for this motor development. Their baby should be able to get up and stand without your assistance. Your baby should be able to move things from one hand to the other and use his or her fingers to rake food toward himself. And then from a motor perspective, your baby should be able to sit without support. And these are things that your 9 month old should be doing. Now, here are some simple activities that you can do with your baby to help foster this development that you are seeing taking place in your baby and help with brain development. One, you want to repeat your baby songs and say silly words using those songs. For example, if your baby says ba 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 ba, you can say ba 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 back and say baby and bear and book and balloon and ball. So use those same songs to introduce language to your baby. You want to also place toys. We've talked about this before. Place the toys that your baby's going to use out of his reach, so he has to crawl or scoot or roll over to get them. And when he or she does that, really praise him. You say, yay, and clap for baby. So you encourage him to do those activities. Now you want to teach your baby to wave bye-bye or to shake his head no. Okay, you do it. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Or when you're speaking to him, you say no and you shake your head, so he sees that and he's beginning to learn these simple words and simple language and signs. Okay, so let's keep going. What else can you do with your baby? You can play peekaboo. Cover your head with a washcloth or a towel or whatever it is, and let baby pull it off. Your baby at 9 months old should be able to do that, and he pulls it off and you say peekaboo and you have a great time laughing together. You also want to play dumping blocks with your baby. Put all the blocks that you have for your baby in a container, dump them out, and then together pick them up and put them back in the container. Play games with your baby such as my turn, your turn, and you can pass a ball. Your turn, and he holds it, then you say my turn and he passes it back to you. You go back and forth. So you're teaching your baby how to begin to take turns, because this is such an important skill that we need to have in life. Of course, I'm going to say read to your baby. You should have been doing this all along, even before your baby was born. So you're going to continue reading and pointing out those pictures that you see in the story and trying to let a baby recognize what's happening in a very specific way. I'm going to say this again. You want to limit screen time. No screen time until 2 years of age. Find out about choking risks and safe foods to feed your baby. And then let him practice feeding himself with his fingers and using the sippy cup, with small amounts of water. And you want to sit next to your baby so that together you can enjoy feeding time, meal time. But your baby is still 9 months old, so expect it's going to become a little messy from time to time, but just have fun. Don't be so caught up in cleaning up and making sure everything is perfect. Be more interested in helping your baby develop the skills that he or she needs to be able to be successful. Now, you want to ask for behaviors you want. A lot of us as parents, we like to say no to our baby, or don't do that, or don't stand there. Instead, say what you want your baby to do. Say stand here, or say sit, instead of saying don't stand. So try to take away the don't and make whatever communication you're having with your baby be positive communication. Okay, so now you want to help your baby to get used to foods with different taste and different textures. So at 9 months old, you're helping your baby to understand what smooth and mashed or finely chopped foods taste like in your mouth. And your baby might not like all the foods you try or you introduce to him on the first try, but give him a chance to try the food over and over again. For some children, you may have to introduce that food 10 times before he or she accepts it. So keep trying. Now, say a quick and cheerful goodbye instead of sneaking away when you have to leave. If you are leaving to go to work, Go to your baby and say bye bye, bye bye, goodbye, and then leave. Don't just leave him without saying goodbye. That way, he will learn to calm himself and he would know what to expect because you are setting that routine. Let him know when you come back by saying, back, I'm back. So he knows you're leaving and he knows you're going to be back. You're giving him that kind of security that he needs to develop well. We talked about this before. You always have to have routines for feeding and sleeping. You want to stay close as your baby explores and moves around the house so that he or she knows that you are near. And make sure your baby gets enough sleep. Let's go back to the sleeping a little bit. Make sure your baby gets enough sleep. 4 to 12 months old need 12 to 16 hours of sleep a day, and that includes the naps. So however you schedule your baby's sleep time, make sure that he or she is getting 12 to 16 hours of sleep a day and be consistent. Okay? Now, yesterday we talked about taking care of yourself, and this is coming back again. You have to take care of yourself because you're doing a lot for your baby. Raising a baby is demanding, so make sure you take care of yourself. Also, you want to baby proof your house. Make it safe so your baby can explore and move around, but you are sure that your baby will be safe as he or she does that. You may have to put up rails in different areas, and so the baby only stays in a certain area of your house. And then I want to say, finally, to put your baby close to things that he or she can pull up on so that he practices standing as he prepares to move on to the next level of being able to walk. I remember at 9 months old, we were visiting my brother in Michigan when my son pulled up and he started walking. He was 9 months old. So expect lots of developmental milestones, surprising, wonderful, welcoming milestones to take place in your baby at 9 months old. And remember to support those developments by doing various activities with your baby. It's such a precious time and a precious opportunity to be a parent of a child and to mark what you want written on that fresh slate so that this child can take his or her place in society. And I am here to help you do just that and support you throughout your process. Keep journaling, keep loving the experience, take care of baby, and take care of you.